Why the United States must stay in Afghanistan and Central Asia. Brought to you by the History Colonel. One of the main reasons to stay in Afghanistan and Central Asia is because of its strategic location within the region. There are three potential U.S. adversaries located in close proximity to Afghanistan: Iran to the west, China to the east, and in the far north, Russia. By maintaining U.S. forces in Afghanistan, we compel potential enemies to posture assets in our direction, which means that they have to react to us. It also provides the U.S. with the ability to gather intel, base forces, and strike from multiple directions on potential adversaries within Asia. We could strike Iran from its east, we can strike China from its west, and we can strike Russia from its south, while simultaneously keeping an eye on Pakistan. Another reason to stay in Afghanistan and Central Asia is because Southwest Asia and the Middle East are key areas where terrorism, the sponsorship of terrorism, and safe havens for terrorists exist. According to the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, the following countries are key sponsors of exporting terrorism: Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. Maintaining intel and strike assets on the eastern boundary of Southwest Asia and the Middle East provides U.S. forces the capability to identify and strike terrorist organizations before they can launch attacks in Europe or against the United States. Another significance of staying in Afghanistan and Central Asia is the huge role played by NATO in 30 NATO countries. Of the 9,800 forces from NATO and the United States stationed in Afghanistan, 7,500, roughly 7,500 of them, are from European-based countries using European-based soldiers that are members of NATO. The U.S. at this time only had 2,500 American soldiers in Afghanistan. Operation Resolute Support was a NATO-led non-combat mission. This mission was established at the invitation of the Afghan government in accordance with the United Nations. Its purpose was to help the Afghan security forces and their institutions develop the capacity to defend Afghanistan and protect the citizens in the long term. In addition, the majority of the cost in defending and fighting in Afghanistan and Central Asia has already been borne. The total cost to the United States was $2.3 trillion, but in 2020 it was only $40 billion. Also, U.S. NATO troop levels have decreased to 2001-2002 levels at approximately 9,800 NATO troops, which the United States provides 2,500. Plus, lastly, the total cost in U.S. lives, though it has been 2,455. Over the last 18 months, prior to losing 13 lives at the Kabul airport, the prior 18 months, we lost no American lives. From a historical perspective, U.S. defense spending as a portion of gross domestic product is at a near all-time low. During World War II, we spent 35.5% of our GDP on the war effort. During the Korean War, it was 11.3%, Vietnam War 8.6%. Today, U.S. defense spending is at 3.1% and is just 10% of U.S. government spending. We can afford to stay in Afghanistan, to stabilize the country, to bring rule of law, to support the growth of women in the country, and to defend the United States, Europe. Current U.S. military strength is 2.1 million active and reserve soldiers. Since World War II and Korean War, we've maintained personnel in Japan, 39,000. Korea, right around 23,000. Germany, 34,000. And Italy, 12,000. That's in a peacetime environment in Japan, Korea, Germany, and Italy. We wanted to maintain 2,500 personnel in a wartime environment in Afghanistan. Currently, the United States has 69 deployable brigade combat teams or regiments from the U.S. Marine Corps. Each one of those regiments, brigades, consists of 3,000 to 5,000 personnel. One brigade or regiment is required in Afghanistan per year. So 1 out of 69 regiments or brigades is required in Afghanistan. The History Colonel is brought to you by me, a retired U.S. Army colonel. I had 34 years of military service, multiple combat tours to the Middle East. I have a master's degree in strategic studies, a bachelor's of history, and also have a post-BA MA social studies teaching license. The History Colonel. Hope to bring you more. Bye-bye.